Hi, this is Maria Lloyd with the Your Black World Network, and today I have on the phone Pastor Jumbo Johnson. You may be familiar with him. He was the pastor who was caught up in the feud with Meek Mills about his controversial song titled "Amen." Pastor Jumbo, how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. It's good to talk to you.
Likewise, thank you for joining us. So obviously, we want to talk to you today because you have a really exciting project coming up. If you could, please let us know what this project is. What could you tell us a little bit about it?
Well, rapper Cassidy and myself, we have an upcoming music EP called "God Works in Mysterious Ways," coming out April 15th. So it's going to be 8 songs. It's going to have some guest appearances. It's going to be spiritual and Christian based. And also Cassidy, he has a book coming out under my publishing company called GGIS Publishing.
Okay, wow. So let me ask you, how did you and Cassidy hook up? Is it just a sheer coincidence that both of you happen to have the feud or have had a feud with the rapper Meek Mills, or was there another factor that brought you guys together?
Well, I'm living in Philadelphia, and Cassidy, he's been rapping for a long time. So I heard of him, for years ago. And recently I had a friend who told me, I think it was last year, a friend who told me that he had become a Christian. And so I listened to a little bit of his music last year and heard some of his references to Jesus Christ. And, that kind of just caught my attention. I didn't really think too much of it at the time, but it just kind of caught my attention. So I started a publishing company, again, called GGIS Publishing. And one of the things we do is to create biographies. So I just kind of brainstorming and thinking, I said, it could be a unique idea to have Cassidy, work on a biography with GGIS. I knew that he had been a very successful rapper. Also, he had been incarcerated. It seemed like he had experienced a faith conversion during his incarceration. And also, he got in a very, serious car accident where he almost lost his life. And so I thought that those experiences would really be conducive and really be beneficial to have a book written about them.
Wow, I'll say. So, have you received any criticism for your ties to Cassidy? I mean, obviously a lot of people consider the hip hop industry or the rap industry to be pretty vulgar or controversial, especially for the Christian community. So, have you received any kind of flack for working with Cassidy, or how has it been? How has the reception been in the Christian community with your network with Cassidy?
Yeah, I have experienced a little bit of criticism. I've had some friends who, they question whether working with him was a good decision. They say some of his lyrics are still questionable, and just expressing concern that he wasn't either he wasn't a full Christian, or he might bring disrepute to, I guess, the publishing company DDIS. But I wasn't really concerned about that. I heard his testimony. I talked to him. I met him. And, he's married. He has 2 kids. He's part of a church. And I saw positive change. And I felt like, one way to have an impact was to not, examine to the point where you don't work with people, but to see the sincerity and to believe in people. And so I believed in him and believed that working together would be a good decision. So I went ahead and made the choice to do so.
Okay, and that's actually kind of perfect what you said. It kind of goes into a segues into my next question. I was going to ask, do you believe it's possible to be a Christian and still be of the world, quote unquote, or secular? Because I know, Cassidy just released a diss song to the rapper Meek Mills. It's titled Raid. And there are some pretty there's profanity in the record and everything. So he does speak very passionately about his Christian faith. But do you believe that he could, not him specifically, but do you believe that anyone can still be secular or of the world, quote unquote, and be a devout Christian?
Well, I kind of have to distinguish of the world in, music or art platform and of the world in a moral platform. I think you can be an artist, whether it be a musician or a film producer, and produce art that isn't necessarily gospel. But I think what you produce, it should reflect in some way what you believe. So yeah, I believe you can be a secular artist and still be a believer. The hope is that, you are conscious of what you believe when making your music. And, just like all of us, there's different levels of maturity. And there's different levels of growth. Some of us, we're a little farther along in our faith than others. But the hope is that we wouldn't exclude anybody or really working with or partnering with because someone's not yet achieved or attained something. If there's major issues that need to be dealt with, moral issues, and sometimes it's good to stop, slow down, and kind of consider how those issues can be rectified. But kind of my dealings with Cassidy, I kind of saw, some growth there and some good things going on. So I was comfortable with moving forward.
Okay. And so last but not least, how can people stay abreast of what you're doing? Do you have a website? Of course, I know that you have a church. If you could let people know where you're located. And also, are you on any social media platform?
Yeah, the name of our church is Philly Open Air Church. We're in North Philadelphia, 2503 North 5th Street. You can visit GGIS, that's two G's, it stands for God's Grace is Sufficient, GGISpublishing.org/Cassidy, and people can get all the information there about the book, and we're going to be releasing more information about the music as well. We're going to attempt to release the book and the music at the same time, and the proceeds of the music is going to charity, which is a cool thing. People can follow me on Twitter at Jomo, Jomo K. Johnson, and also Facebook, same name, Jomo K. Johnson.
Okay, well, thank you very much for your time. And for our listeners and our readers, our Your Black World Network supporters, we thank you for your continued loyalty and support of the network. Thank you.